8 minutes into 12 midday in Central African time. Welcome to Channel Africa. Thank you so much for your listening ear, planting the seed as we revive the culture in agriculture and also talk regenerative futures. A pleasure to have you join us for this last Sunday. It is the last Sunday of September 2025. So listen, September came and went, and I'm sure you're feeling that too. But here we are under the sky of the equinox. I know there's much excitement around that, but it is a pleasure to have you join me this afternoon. Thank you for being here. So quick introductions as to what's to come on the show until 2 p.m. in Central African time. We've got our agri update, as we always do. Every single week we start the show with our agri update, just to look at what's been happening on the continent, what is noteworthy in terms of happy new developments, on the continent, and what is progressive and what is worth mentioning. Anything from the upcoming events to any sort of policies that are shifting and shaping the space of agriculture on the African continent. Also coming through, we're going to be speaking to a special guest actually in the next hour. Her name is Bonahajo Dlalose. She is doing so many things within the space of entrepreneurship and agriculture. She's going to be talking to us about, just the work that she's been doing in terms of supporting community. She supports community. She's also using the space of online fruitfully to start YouTube channels and really spread the good news about what agriculture is essentially about. And then before the close of this 12 o'clock hour, we are going to be looking at the work of the South African breweries, because they are saying cheers to farmers and really celebrating the work of farmers and looking at what's at the heart of the economy of farmers here in South Africa. So we're going to be speaking to Vice President of Corporate Affairs at SAB. Her name is Zolega Lisa, and she's going to tell us a bit more about this Cheers to Farmers event that we're going to be celebrating, because we want to celebrate with them. Otherwise, thank you for tuning in. If you are listening, we are grateful that you tune in on the traditional World Wide Web. That is channelafrica.co.za. That's where you can also find information, catch up podcasts for planting the seed, etc. all there. Otherwise, on satellite, channel PAS 10 across the African region, and DSTV audio bouquet as well on satellite. You can find us on channel 802 OpenView HD, channel 628. Watch the show on YouTube as well as Facebook, should you wish to do so, and drop us a comment if you happen to catch this broadcast live.
Hi there. Do you want to elevate your business and give it a voice in South Africa and Africa as a whole? Well, in that case, let Channel Africa make this a possibility. Channel Africa is willing to advertise your business for as little as 30,000 rands or $1,719.18. To get access to these great rates, send all requests to mukwenata@SABC. That's MOKOENATA@SABC. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Planting the seed digs deep into the trends shaping Africa's agriculture. Every Sunday, 12 to 2 p.m. with Mmatsheko Mosito. Expert insights and real conversations on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Salake bayo kozoka moninga salake bayo yo salake bayo yo salake bayo yo salake bayo moninga salake bayo yo salake bayo yo salake bayo moninga nanga salake bayo mokili okoki mpe kozanga okimaki mbangombango oyo tala lelo osukise na nzela salake bayoyo salake bayoyo salake bayoyo salake bayoyo salake bayoyo salake bayoyo salake bayo moninga na nga salake bayo baninga banga yoyo batikinga moko na kati ya esanga bawelise mosolo oya mbangombango okima mbango salake babo kozoka baninga salake bayo yo salake bayo yo salake bayo yo salake bayo moninga salake bayo yo salake bayo yo salake bayo moninga na nga salake bayo moninga salake bayo yo salake bayo yo salake bayo moninga na nga salake bayo moninga
Salakeba, the title of the song by the one and only Papa Wemba. There are just certain voices that are so distinct from certain regions, but also by certain musicians, and this one is certainly one of them. Welcome to Planting the Seed. My name is Mmatsheko Mosito, hosting the space for you until 2 p.m. in Central African time. So we're not going to waste any more time. Okay, we're already 15 minutes into 12 p.m. in Central African time, and we're going to do a quick check-in with our agri update, stories and news from the African continent. So it looks like Germany, Nigeria and the European Union have launched an 18.3 million euro agricultural value chain facility. The project is set to boost tomato and ginger farming in 7 Nigerian states so it began last year in the year 2024, and it will continue on until 2028 and hopefully beyond. Implemented by the GIZ with Nigeria's ministries, the initiative aims to support 25,000 farmers, especially women women as well as young people or youth, to create 10,000 jobs, to improve access to 2 million euros in finance, to cut harvest losses by 15% and promote climate-smart practices. Leaders say the project will tackle key challenges like weak agri-processing, poor infrastructure and limited storage, while raising incomes and also strengthening food security. All right, so the University of the Free State, or UFS as it's known for short, has launched Greener SA, which is a 5-year initiative to plant 400,000 trees across South Africa at the Paradise Experiment Farm on the 12th. So all of this took place on the 12th of September 2025, and it was backed and supported by MasterCard Foundation through Tag DEV 2.0 program, as well as the RU Forum. This is a project that brings together government, industry, students, as well as academics around a shared commitment to basically sustain food security. And this is a very important launch because it also marked by the planting of the first 100 trees, which is a symbolic act that sets the tone for this year and the next 5 years ahead, as it were. Professor Jan Willem Swanepoel is the director of the Center of Sustainable Agriculture, and he reminded the audience that the University of the Free State is one of the 12 African universities entrusted with $100 million investment in agricultural transformation. This is a project that doesn't only hit and run, as he says. It's about sustainability, it's about inclusivity, as well as building value chains that empower farmers as well as entrepreneurs. He also ended with saying, or rather mentioning a parable of a farmer who couldn't sleep when the wind blows, urging everyone to be proactive in preparing for inevitable changes.
This is Spring Day on campus. Thank you all for coming. Baie dankie dat julle almal gekom het.
And for 2011, Papia capensis is a tree to be planted. Its flowering season is from September to May. It bears fruits from December to July, and we already spoke about this distribution, where it comes from and where it occurs frequently. Its fruit can be used in preservatives, jelly and vinegar. It can also be used as an alcoholic drink. So there's a few people that would enjoy that.
I want to tell you as students, you are not alone. The tree reminds you that it is among other trees. It's in a community of trees, okay? And by the way, not all these trees are the same. Some of them are deciduous trees, others are evergreens, some are brown, some are green, if you get my drift. Some are red with their flowers and so on. But you are not alone. So when you see trauma, when you see the roots, also remember the leaves. And then what keeps the two together is that upright thing called the trunk on a small plant, the stem, the thing that keeps it up. And that, by the way, is you. You connect our past, the roots, and our future, the leaves. You see, if the future of South Africa depended on your parents, I would be depressed. But because it depends on these young stems, on you guys, I'm very optimistic. And so on.
21 minutes past 12 midday in Central African time. If I can just get my headphones on. There we go. That clip is from the University of Free State, rector, I beg your pardon, and it was basically shot during Arbor Day. And this gives us perspective as to how this is not a project that is fleeting or that is just happening in the current time in 2025. University of Free State has committed of over a decade. In fact, if it's not 2 decades, it's definitely over a decade, where they've really been engaging actively in matters of environmentalism, planting trees, spreading the message around agriculture, but also really getting their hands dirty and doing the work. So the University of Free State rector participants during the National Arbor Day is the audio that you just heard in that clip. All right, so we're looking ahead at the 26th of September, which is going to be recognized globally as World Environmental Health Day. And this is a day that reminds us that restoring ecosystems is vital. Mangrove forests, we've spoken about this quite a few times on the program, but they play a crucial role in keeping coastal and marine environments healthy and resilient. Yet despite supporting extraordinary wildlife diversity, these unique ecosystems are still facing unprecedented threats from development, deforestation, as well as climate change worldwide. So they are found along the tropical and subtropical coasts. And the mangroves thrive where fresh water and seawater basically meet, forming dense and vital forests. These are sprawling underwater cities. Their distinct root systems create intricate maze that shelter some of the planet's most diverse marine communities. We're looking here at over 1,500 species that call these ecosystems home. So that's not a small number. So from microscopic organisms to large marine mammals as well.
Let's take a trip to the humid tropics, where evergreen mangrove forests spread along the coasts of East Africa, South Asia, Australia, and Oceania. These unusual forests grow predominantly in the intertidal strips of seashores and estuaries. Mangroves are underwater about 40% of the time. Mangrove thickets are rich in biodiversity, a variety of mollusks, crabs, crustaceans, numerous species of fish, turtles, snakes, and lizards. Several varieties of crocodiles and alligators settle in the water near the roots of trees. Mangrove forests are home to many bird species, such as frigates, gulls, parrots, and hummingbirds. Silt settles in densely intertwined roots, which contributes to the formation of the soil substrate. The waters near the mangroves provide local fishermen with a large supply of fish, crabs, and clams. Another useful function of mangroves is the absorption of heavy metal salts dissolved in seawater. Mangrove forests are unique. They grow quickly and protect the coastline from destruction. The strong root system helps to form a natural barrier against strong storms and flooding. And it should be pointed out that nearly 2.5 billion people live in coastal areas. Mangroves are a very important compensatory mechanism of the planet. You can learn more about compensatory mechanisms, their role and importance for our safety and survival of the planet in the period of global climate change by watching the international online forum, Global Crisis, Our Survival is in Unity. Today, mangroves face the threat of total destruction. In regions like America, they're disappearing even faster than tropical forests. The World Economic Forum reports that more than a third of these unique forests worldwide have already disappeared. Increased extreme weather processes and rising ocean levels are having a major impact on the loss of mangrove forests. Another problem is uncontrolled cutting of trees for timber use and making room for shrimp and shellfish farming. In addition, trees are dying due to pollution of coastal waters with chemicals and industrial emissions. In a consumer society, the balance of human interaction with nature is broken. We should think about what this can lead to if we do not change the vector of development of the society from a consumer-oriented to a creative one. To cope with the growing ecological and climate changes, we need to unite in the common goal of building the creative society. Only by working together can we save life on our planet.
Very, very important. And we actually are going to continue on with the theme of World Environmental Health Day just after 1:30 Central African time as we look at our food fact for today. All right, so that wraps up our segment on Agri Stories of Africa. I want to say we're going to be looking at really cheering on farmers and celebrating them with the South African breweries as we look at how they the South African breweries rather hosted the Cheers to Farmers celebration in Taung. And we're going to find out what that's about. We're going to find out how this plays a role in creating jobs for farmers and also participating in big, very important themes around food security and sustainability. We're going to be speaking to Zolaga Lisa in her capacity as Vice President of Corporate Affairs at SAB. Stay with us.
Planting the Seed digs deep into the trends shaping Africa's agriculture. Every Sunday, 12 to 2 p.m. with Mmatsheko Mosito, expert insights and real conversations on Channel Africa, the African perspective. We are reviving the culture in agriculture with Planting the Seed every Sunday on Channel Africa.
Another banger. First you go be the bad guy, and then you go be the actor. Because I want feed my family, now make me sit my own guy laptop. Came out alive, but mommy have thank God. My money big, you go need the tractor. If it be say you want carry my ways, you go need new gym instructor. Straight out of Benin, I drop in my EP 2019. The things say big bed you go finish. My music is traveling from India to Asia to Berlin. The thing will be pay me, be say una no one be believe. I will never forget this and we bad belly them cause us say away. Fast forward to today, every day in a holiday. Every day's in a holiday, oh yeah, day, oh yeah. Me and my guys we the chill with the pop. Say we know the ball. Say my circle check the boss, we go give you last guy check up. Make you know hits, make you pray for the ability to catch up. No calculator fi come my surplus and my road don't me more shako. Many nights we are no sleep, where I no sleep. Why it a go overseas? Still many people they love me.
Thanks for staying with us as we plant the seed and revive the culture in agriculture and also talk regenerative futures until 2 p.m. in Central African time. Just in case you started listening, this is Channel Africa. My name is Mmatsheko Mosito, hosting the space for you until 2. All right, so in this segment, we are celebrating. We're celebrating the heart of our economy, the farmers who keep South Africa growing. Recently, the South African breweries hosted the Cheers to Farmers celebration in Taung here in the South African region, shining a spotlight on the incredible role of our farmers and what they are doing in terms of playing their part in job creation, in strengthening food security and sustaining rural communities. Since the year 2018, SAB has invested over 650 million rands into local agriculture, supporting more than 500 farmers each year and also sustaining nearly 40,000 jobs nationally or nationwide, as it were. So let's talk about it. Let's unpack the power of the story when we look at it from the lens of resilience, when we look at how it is partaking in partnerships as well as growth. A pleasure to be joined on the line by Zolega Lisa in her capacity as Vice President of Corporate Affairs at SAB. Welcome to the show, Zolega. Thank you so much for the time on a Sunday.
Thank you very much, Seko, for inviting me.
Thank you. Let's talk about SAB and the investment of more than 650 million rand. That's not a small number, especially when we look at how it filters into local agriculture since the year 2018. Talk to us about what inspired this level of commitment to the farming space, to farmers, and why Taung is such an important focus area at this time.
So when we talk about beer at SAB, we say that beer is natural. It's made from natural ingredients like barley, hops, maize. It has water. It's local. A lot of our inputs are locally sourced and it's inclusive. We work with various partners along the beer value chain. And for us, the journey of beer starts on a farm. So ensuring that we invest extensively into farming, into agriculture, into agro-processing is at core of our business strategy and how we operate. And Taung happens to be one of our barley farming regions in the Northwest. So that's where we have our smallholder farming program. We've been invested in the Taung region many years, well over a decade. And we have a very strong partnership with that community. We work with around 62 farmers in Taung who produce for us on average about 4,000 tons of barley that go into the production of our beers.
All right. So a very important part of, the business of the South African breweries. We also hear a lot about strategic partnerships. So perhaps you can give us a breakdown of how the South African breweries and their partners and also how you're partnering rather with farmers on the ground and what that actually looks like in practice.
We have amazing partners in terms of how we run some of our farming programs. So for example, we, from a research perspective, work with the South African Barley Breeding Institute that allows us to have the most up-to-date research technology, crop varieties, and intelligence around what we need to share with our farmers. From a smallholder farming perspective, we work with farmers and partners like FarmSol, who are dedicated to driving smallholder farming development by helping them with technical skills, access to finance, as well as access to markets. And we also work with other partners. We have a partnership with Sector. That's how we have invested in mechanization, specifically in Daewoo. We have come along, Sector's come on board. We've co-invested to the region of 16 million rand to allow farmers to have access to mechanization. For a lot of people, they don't know one of the barriers to smallholder farmers is that they don't have access to this mechanization. So it makes their input costs more expensive. It makes them less efficient. So having this access easily available, close to the community, makes them more profitable, efficient, and effective.
All right. If you've just tuned in, thank you for being here. You are listening to Planting the Seed. It's an agricultural show until 2 p.m. in Central African time. On the line with me is Zolega Lisa in her capacity today, speaking as Vice President of Corporate Affairs at the South African Breweries. We're talking about how they are celebrating farmers, and not only celebrating them for the sake of celebrating them, but really looking at how they are participating in the heart of the business, but also how they are contributing to the economy overall. And we're really looking at the celebration in depth. And Zolega is just unpacking for you and I in terms of agricultural growth, the meeting of agriculture in the space of beer production, and what the future looks like. That's what we're unpacking. We are 80 minutes away from 1 p.m. in Central African time. Tell you what, let's take a quick promo break. We'll be back after this.
Hi there. Do you want to elevate your business and give it a voice in South Africa and Africa as a whole? Well, in that case, let Channel Africa make this a possibility. Channel Africa is willing to advertise your business for as little as 30,000 rands or $1,719.18. To get access to these great rates, send all requests to mokoenata@SABC. That's MOKOENATA@SABC. Channel Africa, the African perspective. Agri-tech, innovation, and the voices growing Africa's food future. Planting the Seed with Mmatsheko Mosito every Sunday from 12 to 2 p.m. only on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Welcome back. We are in conversation with Zolega Lisa, Vice President of Corporate Affairs at SAB, and we're really talking about the production of beer, but also how it meets agriculture, how it supports farmers and job creation. Zolega, you mentioned, at the top of the segment how barley is really central to SAB's supply chain, and of course in you working with the farmers in Daewoo being so important. But beyond beer production, what role do these agricultural investments within the business, what role do they play in being able to play a role in food security and also create sustainable livelihoods? I think very, very important one for rural families. Hey.
Tuk, I think that's a really good question. When I look at some of the investments we've made in our agri-value chain, I always take a lot out of the fact that it's driving inclusive growth. So if you look at the amount of stimulation that's needed in our rural and peri-urban areas, if you are investing in agriculture, you're really ensuring that various parts of the country are where they've got land, they can leverage it effectively. So a big part for us is obviously, as I said, is the investment into research. And I think agriculture has a lot of science to it, and making that research and that information available to farmers and to communities, I think is important. We do that through a network of not only partners, but we have our own agronomists who are on the ground, who are ensuring that the information is not just for beer crops, but just for agriculture in general.
Yeah.
We have a research center where we also invite other partners to come and see trials for other entities on other crops outside of our main core crops. And that really is in the spirit of strengthening just the continent, I won't even say the countries, but the continent's agricultural footprint, to make that access and those resources available to all who we come across.
And then how do you, as SAB, then measure impact? How do you measure impact economically, but also in terms of just the social structure, I beg your pardon, of the people that you work with?
We have a lot of information that we capture. So from an
Okay.
M&E perspective, it's really understanding how to get the data from your farmers. We've got, as I said, we've got agronomists. So the agronomists will make sure that we're getting the right information, and we capture that in various formats. So we know how many farmers we work with. We know what varieties are planted. We also know the economic contribution that we make. So for those who don't know, for example, barley farming accounts for, I think, 1.4 billion rands towards the country's GDP. That part of the agriculture sustains roughly 38,000 jobs. So we've made the time and the effort to really make sure that we're holistic in measuring the impact. Every year we measure the tons in tonnage in terms of what we get from the various harvests. And we have a mechanism of where we say we want our farmers to be skilled, we want them to be connected, and we want them to be empowered and financially included. And all that information is captured in various databases, and then we use that to improve year on year.
Okay, it sounds very exciting. And I think for me, investment in local farmers, just there are so many benefits, as you mentioned. It's not just one dimensional. Okay, so let's talk about how this filters into other projects, Zoleka, that the SAB is doing from a socio-economic perspective. Anything else that's perhaps coming up as well?
So, Tika, I don't know if you've also known, beyond just the barley and the grain crops, we have done a project in the Hoedspruit area where we were a net importer of limes for our Corona lime brand.
Oh,
And
yes,
South
yes, yes.
Africa, the limes were very expensive. You couldn't find them. So we partnered with the Mulatele community. They had the land, we had the funding, and we had technical partners in the Komati group. So that is another example of another community-based initiative that's in agriculture, where today the Mulatele community are the largest growers of limes in the country. And the project has just gone from leaps and bounds. And now the biggest thing that we focused on, particularly in that project, was really innovation. We had to trick the trees into thinking they can bloom all year round, so we can get these limes all year round. So
Right.
innovation, technology was important. And I guess the job creation, that story is also still powerful. You've got between 12 and 15 jobs staying in the community, and we continue to harvest limes for a Corona brand.
Okay, sounds very exciting. Should we wish to perhaps look at what's been happening? I know that you've also had participations with what's been happening in the Northwest with the agriculture days that have been happening there. But should we wish to just have a look, have a visual representation of what South African Breweries has been doing with regards to Cheers to Farmers, where can we go?
You can always visit our website, our social media pages, and reach out to anyone in the SAB team for that information. But all that information is well captured, I think, on our website and media pages.
Okay, awesome stuff. Zoleka, thank you for the time. Thank you for just the generosity of spirit that is represented through the work, and not, kind of making farmers be end, but really highlighting their work as a big part of the beer business and the South African breweries. Thank you very much for the time and all the best.
Thank you, Teko. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. Zolek Alisa joining me in her capacity as Vice President of Corporate Affairs at South African Breweries. Please go online if you would like to acquaint yourself with the work, see what the farmers are doing and how they are really being assisted from a socio-economic perspective under the Cheers to Farmers celebration, and looking particularly at the Daung region. And perhaps there are similar initiatives that are happening in your African region, whether you are in Zambia, whether you are in Kenya, in many parts of the counties there. If you are listening in Nigeria or Ghana, I really would love to know if there are similar initiatives from a corporate perspective that are not looking at it from just a small little CIS little thing in the corner, but really as a big part of the business and supporting agricultural communities and projects on this scale. I would really love to know. So please send us a tweet. We use Twitter as our suggestion box all the time. So drop us a line there and just search for @ChannelAfrica1 and use the hashtag planting the seed or planting the seed CA so we can track the conversation with you. Coming up just after 1, my special guest in studio, Bonahajo Dlalose, is joining me in her capacity as just an amazing entrepreneur and a woman on the ground who is supporting agricultural communities and also using social media to really highlight and teach about agriculture. That coming through just after 1.
We are reviving the culture in agriculture with Planting the Seed every Sunday on Channel Africa.
Titatika kulangutale nale nilangutala ikuba nishikumile shimatsatsa shamina titatika kulangutale nale nilangutala ikuba nishikumile shimatsatsa shamina titatika kulangutale nale nilangutala ikuba nishikumile shimatsatsa shamina titakushapela siluba zitlela nzikufaka nishingwavi ikubanga kona umwana anzitakisa kufana na wena titakushabela siluba zitlela ndikufaka nishingwavila ikubanga kona umwana anzitakisa kufana na wena tana lakamina tinela lakamina utanichinela nkata tika kulangutale nale nilangutala ikuba nishikumile shimatsatsa shamina titatika kulangutale nale nilangutala ikuba nishikumile shimatsatsa shamina titatika kulangutale nale nilangutala ikuba nishikumile shimatsatsa shamina titatika kulangutale nale nilangutala ikuba nishikumile shimatsatsa shamina yewe na shimatsa goba yewe na shimatsa chesa yewe na shimatsa yewe na shimatsa yewe na shimatsa goba yewe na shimatsa yewe na shimatsa chesa yewe na shimatsa yewe na shimatsa tega yewe na shimatsa yewe na shimatsa tega yewe na shimatsa semba semba
Agri-tech, innovation, and the voices growing Africa's food future. Planting the Seed with Mmatsheko Mosito every Sunday from 12 to 2 p.m. only on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
minute into 1 p.m. in Central African time. Music coming through from the Mountain Kingdom of Lesotho. It is the late great Tsapotsola coming through, also known heartily as the Village Pope. Man, his voice, his spirit, everything is just with us all the time. Evergreen music from Southern Africa coming through. Nonyana, the title of the song. And it's leading us beautifully into our conversation. So moving from the Mountain Kingdom to the Northwest Province, Kwele, we have a wonderful entrepreneur who joins me in studio. Her name is Ponakhatso Dlalose. She is joining me in studio in her capacity as an entrepreneur. She is also working in the space of digital marketing, all right, digital marketing expert with a keen interest in agriculture. And she has a background in SEO copywriting, in market research as well, and agricultural data. Ponakhatso is dedicated to bridging the gap between technology and sustainable farming practices. And I'm just very excited to speak to her as a young woman so that she can share her journey as well as her insights on the show. Welcome, Madame. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Mmatsheko, for welcoming me and inviting me today to the studio.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
You are welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's share your journey into agriculture, and what inspired you to get in, but also how you are not just doing agriculture for the sake of it. You really are an innovator because you are doing or blending digital marketing within farming. Yeah, talk to me about that interesting merge and how you got in and all of that.
Well, apart from agriculture, I'm also a freelancer. I work with international brands. But how I started with agriculture, it was, a long time ago. Not really long time ago, when we were sent to Cape Town for the business that I was working with. And I saw in Cape Town, like the landfill, it was really attractive to me. And that's how I joined agriculture, basically. But from then on, because growing up, obviously, we were not, told to study or do agriculture. It was a matter of you supposed to be a doctor, a nurse, a policeman, or something like that. So we're not really encouraged to join the agriculture field. So the agriculture field, it came along the way of my life. At home we do have like about a hectare of 16 of land, which is where I want to see myself with the agriculture, with the space of myself growing. But
just step a little bit further away. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But now I am currently working with local communities. So there's a community at home called Kutulo Disability Farm. They take care of disabled people, and they also have agriculture at the back. So that's where I work with them, and I also take care of their social media base. And we do have a lot of people asking us for our produce, and for now we supply people in the community, and we are trying to advance or grow our production as well. So I also introduced them to microgreens, which is what I am passionate about, which I like doing. Microgreens, it's actually came when I was watching this other program called Africa Farming. There was this lady who was doing microgreen at home, and by that time I wasn't sure what kind of agriculture I wanted to step in, and I saw her doing that, and I was like, oh, that is so cool. I actually think that is a great idea, and I started buying some trays and some mediums and seeds, and I started planting it at home and posting it on social media, educating people about microgreens and the importance of consuming microgreens and how healthy they are, because they are 40 times more nutrients and they have high in antioxidant compared to other crops that people normally eat, like cabbages and others. But microgreens are very high in nutrients, and I know a lot of black people don't know about it, but when you go to expensive restaurants, that's when you see the microgreens.
That's true.
But right now, I want to start that visibility around microgreens, educating people that it is actually very easy to grow microgreens. Within 14 to 21 days, you can start consuming your microgreens. So they're very, very high in antioxidants. So I would love to see more people eating microgreens, actually.
Oh, I love that. I love it. Everything from, you supporting community farms, to you helping them digitally, to the inclusivity of disabled people within agriculture, and the microgreens. I mean, this is just, you are in such a beautiful season, and we're going to talk more about that. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break. My special guest this afternoon joins me in studio. Her name is Mmatsheko Mosito. She is an entrepreneur and digital marketer, but also keen interest in agriculture, and clearly interested in teaching black communities that surround her about the benefits of microgreens. Very, very important work, and we're going to continue the conversation when we return.
Africa Update on Channel Africa with Lulu Kabu.
Mozambique's opposition leader Venancio Mondlane has been charged with incitement to terrorism and disobedience. He faces a total of 5 charges. The charges relate to post-election violence that left hundreds of people dead. What punishment is he looking at?
The most severe charges are 2. One is incitement for terrorism, and also is being charged for mobilizing people for terrorism during the protests. These charges are really serious and severe. If he is condemned, is found guilty, he could serve 10 years plus years in jail, meaning that he would be banned from political participation, mainly for the 2028 and 2029 electoral cycle.
The director of CDD, the Center for Democracy and Development, Adriano Novunga.
Africa Update with Lulu Kabu, 12 to 1 p.m. Central African Time.
Africa, voici Abedi.
Oui, c'est moi.
Abedi est un passionné de musique dans l'âme. Il a un goût pour toutes sortes de musique et passe ses journées à écouter Channel Africa.
J'aime beaucoup la musique africaine.
Ok. Devinez quoi? Channel Africa veut aider Abedi et les mélomanes du monde entier à découvrir encore plus de musique incroyable. C'est pourquoi Channel Africa appelle les artistes africains à soumettre leur musique. Chers artistes, n'oubliez pas de nous fournir toutes vos informations pertinentes à l'email adresse musique@channelafrica.co.za. Les soumissions sont votre chance d'être entendu, mais elles ne garantissent pas une playlist. Toutes les soumissions seront soigneusement examinées pour voir si elles répondent aux exigences de notre station. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Welcome to Planting the Seed with Mmatsheko Mosito on Channel Africa.
A pleasure this afternoon to be joined by Mmatsheko Mosito, an entrepreneur, a digital marketing expert. She's amazing. And I feel like she's really just humble about all this work that she's doing, but she's really contributing in a phenomenal way in community agricultural projects, and also spreading the good news about growing microgreens. What are microgreens? How can they help you from a nutritional perspective? But also, I guess that contributes to food security matters. How can you mix that up with the food that you already have access to, and boost yields and boost nutrition within families? Very, very important work this is. And we're also talking about her work in terms of overseeing digital tools to actually help community gardens grow bigger and better. I love the story. I love the story of how you got in, and then you're kind of sort of weaving your way through the space, finding other things that you're passionate about and using your skills that you acquired from in marketing, I want to say, into agriculture. So let's get into that. Talk to me about how you see digital tools and data analytics and all of that. How have you seen that transform the communities that you are working with?
Well, at the moment, I'm currently handling the social media base of the community that I work for.
Yes.
And I post on social media, and that's how people know about it. And I also write about it on my website. I have a website where I write blog posts about sustainable development and also rural development, and just growing that awareness to people about agriculture and the importance of agriculture as a whole. Yeah.
Let's talk about and I want us to talk about disability inclusion, because it's become just such a passion of mine to talk about it in recent weeks. But let's start with rural development, because that's also incredibly important. A lot of young people have been taught, myself included when I was a young person, but back in the day, it's always been a thing of young people need to get out of the village. Get out of the village as quickly as you can. Get yourself into the city. Get a university degree. Get a job. Get paid. Get a loan for a house and a car, and keep it moving.
Yeah.
So rural development in this time, in 2025 and beyond, talk to me about what that looks like, because we want to live lives that are not just about being of service to corporate, but being of service to self and being fulfilled in the work that you do. So for the young people that don't have the opportunity, ya kena on a bus, utsamaye ko Gauteng, for example, or any other big city in the world, you are in Lekabile or in any other rural community, what does development or the space of development look like at this time?
I always say the problems that we have in our communities give us opportunities to create job opportunities.
That's
so
right, yeah.
the problems that we have, they currently would actually bring us somewhere and bring opportunities to us as young people. So I believe in the rural areas, there are a lot of opportunities. There are a lot of problems that can be turned into opportunities. We just need to work hard towards it and be dedicated towards developing our communities. Rural areas, because of how we were raised, that you must study and go to somewhere in the town, so
go
that
somewhere else.
and find a good job, because in the rural areas there is nothing at all to do. But in actual essence, rural areas, they have opportunities to develop young people. There's also other project that I've seen at home where they have started taking like a landfill of where they throw rubbish, and they turned it into a farm. So those kind of projects, they really show that rural areas, they actually have more opportunities to give to young people. So,
Okay.
yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Please talk to me about this particular community that you are working with, that has that works with disabled people. Just give us an overview of what the community does overall, how the work that they do in supporting people that are living with disabilities filters into agriculture, and then your involvement in all of this.
Kutulo Disability Farm, Kutulo Disability Center,
right,
they also have a farm there. So what they do is, it was actually started by an old woman from my community, and it's actually growing. There are young disabled kids that they take care of them there. And then they also gave opportunities to women in the community so that they can look after those young people there. And I think that it was actually a great initiative in my community by that lady, the woman who started the organization. And after a while, that's when they developed to starting a farm production in the back of the center.
Right.
And it's been going for about many years, about 3-4 years now. And they also, in that farm, they also employed young people. They have about over 20 to 30 people who also work in that farm. And close by we have a school, which also they went to the school and they started doing farming in the school. So other people who work in the center, they also work at school and also teach kids about farming as well. So my turn to come into Kutulo, it was when I was doing a program called UPG, United People Globally, and they encouraged us to do a sort of like collaboration with communities. And that was the only it is the only center that I know that's doing great in my community, and it's not far from where I live. So I thought, oh, that is a great opportunity. I can go and approach them and introduce them to microgreens. So right now, I'm not even operating microgreens at home. I collaborated with them and I grow microgreens at home, and we also help each other with the farm, because farming is not easy. Sometimes you can plant seeds and then, you know, the crops, they might be having pests and you need like pesticides. And I do actually try and help them with those to find what's the best pesticides to use in the crops, so that the crops can look healthy and grow much stronger to supply to the people. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing. How have they received this microgreen? Because it's a relatively kind of new kind of crop, you know.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, we meet it at fancy restaurants,
Yeah.
or you know, it's not something that you think you can grow yourself because it just looks too fancy.
Yeah.
So talk to me about you know, just the building blocks in terms of kind of like telling the people what this is and how they can use it in their day-to-day food, and also how easy and affordable it is to grow.
Yeah. So microgreens, you only need like a medium. A medium is sort of like a swirl, right? They use normally cocoa peat is the one they normally use.
Okay.
Even those who grow seedlings, they use cocoa peat. So you lay it down on top of the tray, and then you just sprinkle your seeds. And then there's 2 trays whereby on the bottom you put the water. So it's more like aquaponic, but you do it directly on like yourself, manually yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you cover it. After 5 days the seedlings start to grow, and then you just spray it on top and they start to show the seedlings when they reach about certain meters, and then you can start cutting them and you can put them in your meals, any kind of meal, even a smoothie. You can add them in your smoothie. And
if I don't like smoothies and I only have,
you can eat it in a sandwich.
Okay,
Anything.
I can put it in my sandwich.
Yeah, even your meal, your pasta, you can just add it on your pasta. You can add it on anything that you want to eat it with. You can eat it, and they come as like broccoli. We have broccoli microgreens, we have cabbage microgreen, we have kale microgreens. They come in different kinds of microgreens. So it's just a small plant, but they are very high in nutrients actually, and very high in antioxidant and all those goodies. Yeah.
Oh man, that's amazing. Yes, but okay, back to my question about how you have shown the people in the community that they can do this, and it's not something that should be foreign to them. Easy to grow, you can do it. You know, how did they receive that information? Are they open to it? Were they excited?
Well, yes. Obviously, every time when I introduce people to microgreen, they get surprised or, what is this?
Yes.
And well, I do explain it to them. Like, yes, I would understand you wouldn't know it, but chefs are the ones who actually like it so much. They normally use it all the time on their meals. And yeah, they received it nicely. I've shown them as well that you can turn it into spice. We do dry them up and turn them into spices. We also supply in the community, like those people who sell amakota and stuff. We supply the spices to them, and yeah, they like it. Some they drink it as like, make it green tea. You can do a green tea with it. It's very healthy. It's very high in nutrients. So any way that you wanna consume it, you can eat it. Even if your yogurt or whatever that you wanna put it in, you can put microgreens. And yeah,
you know what I like about what you just said about microgreens and the versatility, is that innovation is not this big thing outside of us.
Yeah, you improvise.
Innovate. What you are doing with microgreens is innovation. You're taking this little thing that grows out of the soil and you're turning it into a powerhouse, into spices, into things that we can add in your little baby's food, you know, and blend it with your baby's food or in your tea. And that is innovation, you know. And I think if we look at things from that perspective, nothing will be frightening to us.
Definitely.
And we have access, you know, more access than we think we do.
Yeah.
Yes. My special guest, Bonagajo, in studio, and she's just a young, vibrant soul who's doing amazing things in agriculture. Let's talk about just some of the challenges. I would imagine there are some challenges that come with this work in terms of really being consistent in your efforts, getting the right support to do this work. What are some of the challenges that you faced?
The challenges that I've faced, it has to be not really necessarily getting support from like agricultural department of agriculture, even maybe in terms of exposure or growth as well, because we want to grow, and with the farm that I work in, we do have a lot of market. There are people who want our produce, but because we don't have things like trucks to do a land, because it's actually a big land to work in, and because of those needs of equipment and other things, it's been a little bit challenging in that case of doing like mass production, so that we can do like supply big retailers and other markets. So that has been the biggest challenge that we have currently.
Okay. And then in terms of just the participation of other young people in the project, I mean, that can be a source of support, because you all bring different skills. You know, your skills in digital marketing can be different to another lady's skill who's well versed in law, for example, and another young person who can boost your yields around microgreens. Maybe they're really good at livestock or whatever the case is. Talk to me about young people pulling in their different skills, services, talents to kind of grow the community and make it thrive and make it better.
You mean in the community or in the center?
Let's talk about the community, because the community then supports the center.
Well, in that community, the people there, they normally use their hands a lot. So they do support in terms of the farm as a whole, the work that they do there is mostly, working the land and trying to make sure the production goes very well, and also the disabled kids that they are there, who are looked after by those women from the center. And there's also women, young people who work in the administration center there, who handle the paperwork, the reports, and so on and so forth. In the community, I see a lot of young people who are actually very struggling a lot, finding opportunities. I think for them it's something that it's not there. There's businesses that are there, like kids who are doing kotas, and there's also, they do like sort of like a TV game on the side, which they do. Those are the activities that I normally see happening. There's also, they're interested into music, so I have friends who are DJs, and that's what they normally do, Right. So in terms of development and growth and finding a stable or solving problems, I haven't seen any changes in that, and I think there is opportunities out there for them, but they are not keen on them, like we said, because they believe that we must get a job somewhere else, not in the community. So it has been a little bit of that challenge for them. In terms of even the new center that they started, where they turned the landfill into a farm, there are young people there who have joined. So I wish those kind of initiatives, they can start improving and employing young people to work in the farm like that. So I think that is the start, and I see that if they start more farms like that, it will grow, and young people will get more opportunities around there.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man, so many things to fix. I don't know
many.
I don't know where you may be listening from, but listen, any thoughts and suggestions, we would love to hear from you. Bonagacho is still in studio with me. Tell you what, let's take a short musical break, okay? When we come back, I want us to wrap up and talk, future vision, and also to congratulate Bonagacho. I know she's graduated in something. We're going to do that after this.
From the soil to smart tech, young Africans are leading the agri-revolution. Mmatsheko Mosito on Planting the Seed, with vibrant stories and expert voices. Sundays, noon to 2 p.m. Only on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
The children got a letter from the master. It's Sutu, no more Zulu. Refusing to comply, they sent an answer. That's when the policeman came to the rescue. Well, the children were flying, bullets dying, all the mothers screaming and crying. The fathers were working in the city. The evening news brought out all the publicity, just a little atrocity. city. Knocking at the door was the man without pity, accusing everyone of conspiracy, tightening the curfew, charging people with walking. The border is where he was waiting, waiting for the children, frightened and running. A handful got away, but all the others are in the jail without any publicity, just a little atrocity. Deep in the city, Benny Gupina Matoda, Abetubula Abandona, Benny Gupina Abandona, Abetigitela Ezizimbobodo, Benny Gupina. Soweto blues, Soweto blues, Soweto blues, Soweto blues, Soweto blues, without any publicity. Soweto blues, they are finishing our nation. Soweto blues, I'm calling it black on black. Soweto blues, but everybody knows they're behind. Soweto blues, without any publicity. Soweto blues, I see that Genesis was said to my Soweto blues, ah, we heard the Baba. Soweto blues.
Music by the late great Queen of Africa, or Mama Africa as she's known, Miriam Makeba, coming through with Soweto Blues on Planting the Seed. So this is us about to wrap up our conversation. Bonakhajo Mdlalose is joining me in her capacity as an entrepreneur, a digital marketer, but also her keen interest in using her skills in agriculture. And we were talking on our way down to the studio about what she's currently been busy with. And she tells me that she has recently graduated from the University of Johannesburg.
Yes.
What did she get?
Well, I got entrepreneur development in partnership with Raymond Academy. Ackermans is the owner of Pick and Pay. And I've been getting a lot of mentorship from the RAA. My journey in entrepreneur development has been really challenging, obviously, because we learn a lot about financial management and innovation and being creative, and and developing minimum viable products so that you can test your market. So then I did a prototype, and it's a website that I told you about it, where I write blog posts.
Yes.
And then it's in a developing stage. It's very early age. So with that, I want to grow the visibility and also try to get into the carbon credits. I believe there is a lot of money that farmers, they're leaving it on the ground, and there are opportunities in the sustainable development whereby with that impact you can actually earn credits from them. So I want to integrate my website with that software so that I can help people in the rural areas about understanding how they can earn credits. Planting a tree can absorb a lot of carbon emission, you know. So even on the ground, doing no-tilling and cover crops can help with carbon earnings. So there's a lot procedure that goes on into it, but it's something that I'm also learning to try and understand it. But it's because a lot of investors, they do invest in sustainable development goals.
Right.
When you're doing impact in your community, they do invest in them. They don't necessarily even care about how much you make, as long as it's an impact that can change, like climate change or zero hunger, or any kind of sustainable development that they do. And I am currently part of the Venture Capital for Africa, which offers young entrepreneur like myself who are doing sustainable development, and they are in the process of giving us that partnership, and also helping us in this journey of sustainable development. So I feel like because the sustainable development it just started, and people are not familiar with it. There are certain parts, but there's obviously 17 sustainable development out there that you can do, and whichever aligns with your business, I think you can include it in your business, and it will actually help you to get like sort of like a funding or even a mentorship who can help you in your business. So that's what I've been doing so far. I've been doing a lot of growth mindset. I've been doing a lot of programs that can help me grow in the entrepreneur field. Like everybody says that when you're an entrepreneur, you wear a lot of hats, and that is true. And sometimes I heard even Dr. Jama last week that sometimes what you learn at school is not really what you actually, the soft skills that you find in entrepreneur, they will shock you, certain things like understanding SARS, understanding CIPC, things like CSD. It's a lot of admin work that goes into entrepreneur as a whole. So those are the things, that they don't necessarily teach you, but it's something that you really need to learn as time goes on in your business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you.
I think, and I'm sitting here, I'm listening to, do you give empowerment talks?
No.
Please consider that.
I'm not that kind of a person.
Oh, girl, let me tell you, you are that kind of a person. You're
putting it into me, I will consider it.
I promise you, please consider it, because and also that's another thing. It doesn't have to be, on a big stage with like 5,000 people watching. Just like a group of 20 young people that need to just think like you. Because the way you think, I mean, you speak about, just the online courses that you've been doing. And congratulations on, finding this particular course and, letting it speak to you in this manner, graduating and all of that. But I think because that's exactly what it is. It's a mindset thing.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter where the seed is. But if it just keeps getting little droplets of water, eventually it grows.
It is.
You are no different from the young people that you've left behind. But I think if they heard you speak something,
I hope they
would move, would shift, would change. So please consider it, even if it's a group of 10.
Yeah.
Start with them, just speak to them, listen to what's in their hearts.
Yeah.
And how they can take that. Because young people are so afraid. They think their dreams are too small, that no one cares.
Yeah, definitely.
That they are insignificant in this world. And they just sit and move through this world with all this potential in their heart.
Yeah, and waiting for someone to give them opportunity, and you have to create it yourself.
You have to create it yourself, which is something that you have done successfully.
Definitely.
You are successful.
Thank you.
You are successful. So please spread the good news. I have enjoyed talking to you and listening to you, and you have lit a fire in me as well.
Thank you very much.
So
I appreciate
congratulations.
it.
Congratulations. I'm going to make a plan. November is my birthday month.
Is it?
And I need to do something. I need to do amazing work. I would love to come visit Letlhabile.
We would love to have you there.
Yes, and visit the center.
Definitely.
And I don't know, bring a gift or something and learn how to grow microgreens.
Yes.
I'd love to learn that because I love plants and I love eating them.
Yes.
So this was great. This was a pleasure. Very quickly, in us wrapping up and just wrapping up your future vision, talk to us about, where we can find your blog posts, and also just maybe a little bit around your YouTube channel and where you want to see that go very quickly.
All right. I write my blog posts on my website. It's called agritourismdivine.com. You can check it out. It's www.agritourismdivine. And that's basically where I am. And with my YouTube channel, it's called Layla the Garden Girl. It's more about microgreens and what I grow. It's animation. It's something that I wanted to inspire young people about agriculture, that they should start planting crops at home and start growing something at home. Growing crops is actually much healthier, than buying on a super store. I believe that everybody can grow crops. So microgreen is about just empowering kids and even older people about microgreens, and it's still growing. I do the videos. I use lot of digital tools to create those animation. You can check it out. It's on my YouTube page called Layla the Garden Girl. And then the future for myself and the digital planet that I've created and the community that I'm part of is I actually see myself growing a lot. This is the only start, and there will be more opportunities for growth and where I am going. And and I wish I could do much better, but I believe I will get there. So
absolutely, it's closer than you think. It really is closer than you think. You're already doing the work. You've already planted the seed. You're already planting the seed for the timeline in which you wish to exist. Bonagajo, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you for having
once
me,
again,
Mmatsheko.
Thank you. We're going to check out. In fact, let's do this next weekend. We are going to play a video from Layla the Garden Girl, the YouTube channel.
Wow.
Okay, and you are going to be able to see the video because we're going to stream the show, so you'll be able to see the video and support it. Please comment, put your suggestions or whatever you want to do. But it has been wonderful. Follow the channel Layla the Garden Girl. Follow Agritourism Divine, the blog. Okay, agritourismdivine.com.
Yes.
Is where the blog posts are, and just exchange knowledge with yourself and interact.
They also can comment on the blog post. So
wonderful. Comments are open. Okay, I'm gonna read some and comment as well.
Yep.
So let's do that. We're going to make way in the next few minutes for the sports team that's going to be coming through. That's Africa at Play with NETO in the next few. Thank you for staying with us.
You are listening to Planting the Seed with Mmatsheko Mosito on Channel Africa.
Washandura marudzi usatya mwari
Botola matala ufara tichitambura Vakapirira waminduro Vechinike vachapanduka
pamusoroje iyanokekedza meno wasitentisi tiripa takazora mafuta yezvimba pamusoroje iyanokekedza meno wasitentisi tiripa takapinda mudziva nenjuzu pamusoroje oshandisa mazwi akatetepa mazwi yakanyorovera usafunga kunyarara kwedu kisu achikete kushandisa mazwi yakatetepa mazwi yakanyorovera iwe muroi choko zuva vezera avo vana vovakwekura vechidiki vakamirira vominduro choko zuva vezera avo vana vakwekura vechidiki vakamirira rusununguko chakazuva vezera avo vana vovakwekura vechidiki vakamirira muminduro chakazuva vezera avo vana vakwekura vechidiki vakamirira rusununguko wendukusita maka gawetu akusikeli keki bandla zera bueno velo bafuna kungene khaya zera dikutempile ngingayibona inkololeka ay ungenzipanga ngicela kundiphendule sekutheni senzeni masibuyeleni ekhaya chako vezera awuone wowakwekula vechidiki vakamirira wominduro chako zuva vezera awuone wakwekula vechidiki vakamirira rusununguko chako zuva vezera awuone wowakwekula vechidiki vakamirira wominduro chako zuva vezera hauone wakweku vechidiki vakamirira rusununguko uneche 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 ime vakuruwe
10 minutes exactly to go till it's 2 p.m. in Central African time. Jeka Zuba, the title of the song by Willis Africa. Thank you for tuning in to agricultural programming. Please visit channelafrica.co.za/planting the seed. We've uploaded some podcasts there. All right. Recent conversation with the Agri-SETA and the work that they are doing with the TVET College Ingwe in the Eastern Cape province of South Africa. Lots of money being put into that project. So if you want to find out more information, it's on there as a podcast, as we had a conversation with the CEO recently. What else is up there? There's so many other recent conversations that we've had. If you'd like to acquaint yourself with some of them, check out the catch up podcast. I want to say we are making way out of the studio and making way for the best sports show in the land. NETO standing by with the Sunday edition of Africa at Play.
Good afternoon, MM, and a very good afternoon to all the Channel Africans, especially the Africa at Play faithfuls. We are looking forward to an exciting edition of Africa at Play on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. I'm happy that the weather is favorable for sport to happen across various parts of the African continent. I've touched base with people in different parts of the continent, and the weather says yes, sport can be played. We will be talking to the Vice President of the South African Football Association, Linda Zwane, talk all things South African football with the under-20s Amajita going to the World Cup, in Chile. In their opening match, they will be playing against France. We'll also be talking about the under-17 team that has triumphed the COSAFA Cup to qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations. So there's a lot to talk about. There's still an issue about Teboho Mokoena, who was deemed ineligible player because he was supposed to be serving a suspension when he played against Lesotho, and Bafana triumphed in that match. And if FIFA takes points away, this could have an impact on the standings in that group, although Bafana still looks good to remain on the summit. We will also be talking to a gentleman in Nigeria, where we will be talking about all things Nigerian Premier Football League matches. We will be talking to a gentleman called Kunle Salami, who is currently a deputy editor and group sports editor at New Telegraph, to preview all the Nigerian Football League fixtures today. And our teenager in sport, Tumiso Musia, 13-year-old go-kart racing driver, and his hobbies also include the likes of swimming and chess. Africa at Play, as Delil Siashaya.
We will be here just after 2 p.m. in Central African time. Thank you very much for your listening ear. We're back again. It will be a brand new month the next time you and I speak. The month of October has so many beautiful things that are going to be happening in agriculture, and we are going to cover all of them and bring them to you. Speaking of bringing that action live as it happens, of course, NETO is standing by with the team. Have a pleasant rest of the afternoon. Thank you to Dumisilema on social media, the Gentleman's Club that's been holding it down for our audio streaming service, and of course, Tumela Mokoena, who has been doing a wonderful job on technical operation. See you again next week, Sunday. Cheers.
You are listening to Planting the Seed with Mmatsheko Mosito on Channel Africa.
Quartier latin eza bongo makambo ya nzambe na bana na ye opao lettre A fallait Ipopa DiCaprio à merveille. Coco 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 fungala na kongala batama. Coco 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 fungala